This episode of the Nerdball Podcast is sponsored by Jake Paluski at Real JP Multimedia. He does the music for this podcast. He has produced this podcast. If you need anything audio-visual done, he is the man to see at realjp.com, REELJP.com. Let's start the show.
What's up, guys? I'm Andy Sziraki here, originally from Ohio. I live in Florida now. I'm a fitness entrepreneur in every sense of the word. I speak it, coach it, teach it, live it, breathe it, all that good stuff. And I'm here on the Nerdball Podcast because of my good friend Lorenzo Melcher, and we go way back, and I can't wait to dive in.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
All right, Andy, thanks for joining me on the podcast. The very first question that I ask, and this is a brand new thing for the new year, I'm changing up a little bit on the podcast, is what is something that you are currently nerding out about? And the only rule is it can't be your job, because I don't think that's, I mean, for some people that's a hobby, but I think they have to have extra stuff on the side to keep them going. So what's something if it's a TV show, some sort of, like, you're taking cooking classes or you're reading books, like what are you nerding out about right now?
All right, guys. So the question is, what is Andy nerding out about? I think it's been a while, so I think what is Andy not nerding out about right now? So always nerding about some Star Wars in my life. So I know right now I'm probably nerding out the most about the Book of Boba Fett.
Okay.
All right. I'm nerding out the most about everything Star Wars, waiting for the Mandalorian to come back in and see what's going to happen with my baby Yoda. So, you know, I'm gonna eventually have my own babies, but Baby Yoda is all I got right now. He's sitting up there too. I'm actually really excited to nerd out with my pops this weekend. We're going to a Pink Floyd experience, and they're doing all these 4K LED projections, and they got surround sound. And so I haven't been to a concert with my pops. I grew up on all that classic rock, so real excited to nerd out about that. I'm just gonna keep this going because stuff just keeps coming to me here. I love nerding out about fitness and everything like that. So I do have the Whoop 4.0 coming. That'll be on my wrist soon. My fitness trackers, my tonal, my IR sauna. Like, dude, I nerd out about everything fitness has to offer. And recently there's been some game changers. So Star Wars, Pink Floyd, and fitness stuff. Still nerding out.
So I was never, and I've talked about it on this podcast, never been bitten with that Star Wars bug. Like, my dad was into it. I was more into sports, and that's kind of how we connected with the sports. But it skipped me, and my son loved it. He has watched all that stuff, all the Star Wars, everything. I know he just got it because he's interested. How did you first get into Star Wars?
Dude, all right, so here's the story. I remember as a little kid going through all the little VHS tapes and, like, you know, family videos, like everything's got a label, right? And I'm like, what is this one? It was called A New Hope. And I put it in, and I think it was all like scrambled, everything like that. And eventually it got to it. I think we recorded it off of a television program. So I think it was like a bootleg copy. Sorry, FBI, if you're listening. It's a VHS. I mean, what's the fine down to? $2.50 now? So I remember we got that, and it was a bootleg copy. So I got into it. And my dad goes, well, here's the actual collection. So I watched all that. And dude, I just love the story. Good versus evil. Facing your fears, not giving in to hate and all that other stuff. And there's so many good undertones about the Star Wars story that you can really connect to with life, about the choices you make and the temptations for the good versus the evil. And there's so many, it's not just nerding out so much as I love to, but there's a great underlying message there as well.
And you talked about the music with your dad too. But I love, especially when someone comes, like, here's my hobby, here's what I nerd out about, I got it from my parents, because that's just an awesome way to connect with your parents or them with a child, because you can't always, I have a 10-year-old right now, we're not always going to connect something, but if there's one thing and we can just hold on to it our entire lives, and that's always going to draw back.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love it. I'm experiencing that right now. We're getting that age, Pop's getting up there. And we're just looking at, like, life experiences at this point, like and these things that bring us together. And it's always usually something from the past that's that's current again. So I love that. I love that we can connect on that.
How many times have you been to the Star Wars area in Hollywood Studios?
Okay, so I got this hit a nerve. All right.
Uh-oh.
So I went there when they opened the park.
Okay.
All right. I was a early adopter. Went in there. Half the park was open. I was like super excited, and they had like one ride. They had like the Millennium Falcon ride, which is cool, right? So then, come to find out, there's this Star Wars hotel that's coming soon. So not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, maybe 4 years now. It's finally out. So I've already been there 3 times because you go with friends. We do. My friends Todd and Rachel, if you guys are listening to this, we always do the Star Wars marathons, 10Ks together. So we're always up there. But it's still like, all right, I'm done spending money at Disney until I get this freaking hotel. So just this last week, I opened the mail and there's this beautiful, like, I still have it up there. This beautiful black, like, dedicated, like, attention, Andy, your Galaxy experience has arrived. I open this thing up like a kid in a candy store. I'm so excited. Open this thing up. Yeah, 2-night stay, minimum $2,400 per person. I go, Disney, you're Disney. You're stealing from the children. Like, I'm a child. Like, I was like, man, so Disney is like, it's getting up there, man. Like, it used to be like a couple $100 and you go have a good time. Now it's literally $2,400 per person for the 2-night stay in the hotel. I go, all right, I might hold off a little bit on the early adopting. So that's the nerve that I hit.
So we just got back from Disney World and we went through that area and everything. We went on the Rise of the Resistance ride, which is I don't like Star Wars, but it was an awesome ride. It was so cool, and like just walking through and seeing all the Star Wars stuff. They're so committed. My wife was frustrated because she was looking for it was a little Yoda that's a magnet. It sits on your shoulder. My son was
seen it.
Yeah. So she was going around looking, and she goes, I had to walk through the whole place. I finally found one. She goes, it was so frustrating. I go, why? She's like, I'd ask someone, and they would just go, Yoda's not on this planet. And she's like, I just wanted to.
It's like, okay, nerds, calm down. I just want a freaking backpack.
And
Let's get out of character for 1 second.
They all said that until she finally got to the end and finally found it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
Committed.
Yeah, good hunting at Disney, guys. It's getting tough there. It's not kids anymore. You need to put it on layaway.
Oh my God, it was an awesome time. It was cool, especially for someone who's. I can appreciate it. I think it's cool that people like it. It wasn't for me, but
of course.
So you said you're originally from here. You went to Southview, correct?
Correct. And you, Perrysburg, arch nemesis.
I'm still there, and my kids go there. I'm coaching there still right now. So, but what's you've always, for as long as I've known you, and look at pictures and stuff, you've been into fitness. Is that something you're just in your mind? You're like, I'm just going to be this way for my life.
Well, it started with playing sports and everything like that, and then when you realize you're not going to play anymore, and you still have that itch to be around high performance, high energy, high output individuals. I wanted to be around that. So I went to school for kinesiology at Bowling Green, just south of Perrysburg there. And my freshman year, my advisor's like, well, what do you actually want to do? And I told him, I know we played a little semi-pro football, and I was talking about that. He goes, well, is that long-term? And I go, no, not at all. I'm a tackling dummy. So unless they need that, unless they're paying top dollar for tackling dummies, then I'm in. But my advisor said, I told him I wanted to be at the cutting edge of fitness and performance and training pro athletes. So he said, look no further, the Institute of Human Performance in Boca Raton, Florida. Shout out to IHP, JC Santana, my mentor, my friend. I love that guy. I got down here. This was my freshman year. Came time my senior year, and nothing had changed. He goes, it's still the best. It's still number one. Let's get you down there. So I applied. I got it. I got down to Florida and graduated. And I've immersed myself here ever since.
So your advisor was advising you to go to a different school, or is this something?
He told me like for my college internship.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
My internship to graduate, I had to do like some 1,000-hour thing, and that was he didn't even hesitate. And the same answer he told me in 2002 was the answer he gave me in 2000 and what would that be 6 when I graduated. So that was the culmination of the degree to do that, and it was a life-changing experience. I was training UFC fighters for heavyweight championships, NFL, MLB, NCAA strength and conditioning for FAU here it was a phenomenal experience. And then I came home, graduated, and the parents were like, "Get out!" And so I stayed down. I was like, "Can't really complain, dude. I'm not. You know me. I was always skinny Andy, so I was always freaking cold up there in Ohio.
Sure.
I needed to get down here in the warm."
So I want to get to all, especially training professional athletes. But before we leave Bowling Green, what was your favorite place in Bowling Green? Everyone seems to have like their favorite place to
say that again. Favorite place to hang out at Bowling Green?
Eat something.
Eat.
Yeah.
Oh, eat. Oh man. Oh boy, there's so many.
Because I know for us.
If I'm thinking what time of day, was it after the bars? Was it middle of the day? I got to tell you, there's going to be a multiple answer here. My favorite place was the steakhouse. It was called Trotters. And that was only a couple times, very special occasions. People be down, trying to be a gentleman kind of thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Now, the best place was at 2 a.m. was Qdoba. Yeah. And that place is open till 3. So we'd stand in line and get up here. Guys, if you don't know, that's like a version of Chipotle. That's actually, it's like, instead of like Chipotles are like this, Qdobas are like bigger, fatter. They're like this.
Why did it seem to taste better?
I think they did, man. I don't know. I got to go back and try it, but I think they did. I swear they did. And if not, there's always Jimmy John's, dude. There are pictures floating around on MySpace, the interwebs, everywhere. And I'm at a party and I'm always got a red Solo cup from a keg or something and a Jimmy John's gargantuan in my hand. There's multiple. People are like, dude, this is like a meme. Like you would go to a random person's house, get hungry, order food. They knock on the door like, did somebody order food to my house? I'm like, yep, that'd be me. So I'll send you some pics to go with that. But my buddy on IG, Sean Goodrich, goes, Mr. Spots. Mr. Spots was also a good one there. Oh yeah.
They're for us, even now, we'll take our kids to Campus Poly Eyes and get those breadsticks.
Oh my God, Poly Eyes. Oh my gosh, what is it? The breadsticks and the cheese. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Now you're taking me down memory lane. I used to fall asleep with a big box of Poly Eyes in my lap. That's awesome. Going to the memory lane from college, brother. I love it.
You know what? It's cool now because my son's playing travel baseball and some of his tournaments are in BG. So we'll go down there, do a tournament, and then get Poly Eyes or stop some, Mr. Spots. I love Mr. Spots too. And stop there. It's cool to like show them like, oh, me and mom, that's where our first apartment we lived with each other. It's
man,
pretty cool.
It's a great area too. It's a great area.
Yeah. So you were eating your way around BG and at parties, and you made your way down to Florida to what was the place called again? I'm sorry.
The Institute of Human Performance is where I did my college internship, and that was my foothold in Florida. Again, shout out to them, JC, mentor, friend. I still use more things I learned in that 6-month internship and 2-year stint that I was there than I have and anything else I've done in the fitness industry since then. That's how impactful it was for me. So that was great. And that's what got me down here. And that's, I'm right around the corner from them now. We've done some ventures from here now over the years. We've stayed in touch, and it's a very great place. I recommend anybody that's listening to this that wants to come check it out. If you're ever in Florida, it's a cool scene over there.
So that's where you first got you said you got your foothold. Is that where you were training like professional athletes?
Yes. I had Jeff Munson for UFC 65. Now they're like almost 300. I think they're like 275 right now. That's UFC 65. And I mean, I'm strapped up to these bands and like that. And I'm like doing dirty boxing with this guy. I'm like, my lips bleeding, everything's open up. And he's like, are you sorry? I'm like, no, dude, keep going. It's all about the training. It was hardcore. It was hands-on. It was cutting edge. We were going to Home Depot to create and mimic the style of fighter because he was going up against a boxer with a super long reach. So we got this PVC pipe, put a boxing glove on the end of it, and I'm holding this thing away from me. He's bobbing and weaving under it, coming up, dirty bot, dude. It was so much fun. So UFC, with the cutting edge of the UFC performance and conditioning training, NFL, MLB, NCAA. It was. You just pick a sport and it was there, all over the place.
Was there ever a time where you're like, man, should I be here right now? Like kind of like imposter syndrome, like because you're just such a confident guy. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Was there a time where you're just like, man, I don't know if I belong?
I think you're always like, leaving home is a hard thing to do. Like a lot of people never leave. Like it's very hard. Like I left literally everything I knew. I didn't know a single person when I moved here. Not a single person. I think I knew, and it might be because I'm so ADD and I'm so driven to what I find passionate that I think I can compartmentalize and put the blinders on and get that out of my head. And it just happens to be how I'm wired. But I'll have those nights where I look and I miss a lot of my friends. I miss all that. But at the same time, what drives me was always what was pushing me forward and keeping me kind of aligned like that. So yeah, it's always hard when you're starting a new venture, doing things like that, moving to where you know nobody and creating new relationships is very tough. But if you're driven, you won't even, that little birdie will chirp in your ear, but the purpose and the passion will keep you on the road.
I would always feel like if I move somewhere with not knowing anybody, like I'd be terrified about it. But I can make friends pretty easy. So once I could get down there and be like, okay, here's one dude that I can be with and just make it a lot easier. But that sounds scary.
Yeah, it was definitely different. It's definitely, I mean, I moved to Boca, which is like $100,000 cars are like Honda Civics here. It's like, and I came down with my little red pickup truck. It made it down, not even extended cab. So I can't even lean back for 21 hours driving from Ohio to Florida. I can't even lean back. I'm stick shifting straight up posture like this in my little tiny red pickup. It made it down here and then it died. Like that was it. So it was definitely a culture shock for sure.
It served its purpose, man. It got you to where you were supposed to be. It survived the journey.
That's it.
Gosh, it's so cool to I mean, I'm 37 now, and sometimes I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I feel like. But it's and maybe that's what always, because my dad was at GM for 30 years. That's how. So every time I got a job, he's like, "Oh, this is the job. Nope, this is the job. Nope, this." And like I kept trying to tell him, like, "Hey, that's not how the world is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
People move jobs, people do things." So I'm always like, I love where I'm at right now. I work for Litchfield Metro Parks, but I always like have one eye, like, hey, how can I make this better? Is it here? Do I make it better here? Do I make it better here? When you decided to move down there, you knew, hey, this is gonna be, I'm making myself better. As you got down there, was there times where like, there had to be like, how do I continuously reach this bar and then set another bar?
Yeah. Every single day. I want to tell you that because I came from the same family. My mother was in education. She worked a career job for the school system. My father was worked for Owens, Illinois, the glass city in Toledo. So corporate ladder, everything. And to answer your question, every single day is a sort of fear, motivator, drive, because I've got, as an entrepreneur, you've got to eat what you kill every single day. So I can't just take off PTO, anything like that, just have to get paid. Like it's every day you've got to find it in yourself and motivate yourself. And I'll tell you what, in my business, the people motivate me. They say I motivate them, but seeing their results, seeing them happier, healthier, living longer with their kids, being the absolute phenom of a father figure, mother figure, anything like that, having the energy and just living like this passionate life, that motivates me. Like I see that. So that drives me. Like, oh, trust me, there's days I don't want to get out of bed. There's days I don't want to work out. There's days, everything like that. But as far as entrepreneur, you gotta find it every single day. It's gotta be in here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not comfortable with going through months of not getting a paycheck, and maybe you'll have some great ones, but if you can't handle that dip, that valley, it's not for you. And I think I'm stealing words from either Rogan or Elon. It said, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you want a consistent paycheck, he goes, no, this is not the career for you. He goes, go lock something in, do a 9 to 5.
Well, and that's what's scary, even about this podcast, right? I would love, like, for this to be. I love podcasting. I love listening to other people's. I like doing mine, and I would love for this to be a job, right? Right now, I'm realistic now. I'm doing as much as I can with this to try to get it better and try to promote it and all that stuff. I know I can do a better job, but time, doesn't allow me all of it, right? I can't do everything. So I have my job, I have my kids, and try to squeeze this in. And sometimes I got to do more, or hey, my wife takes them to practice and I don't. But you're right. I am super comfortable with my job. I'm a salary employee. I get paid regardless of how many hours I'm there. Sometimes I work more than I should, all that stuff. But I think that being uncomfortable, right, is what drives you to do more. Like,
Absolutely.
This podcast wants me to do more because I love doing this. It's so much fun.
So yeah, you got your career, but you also have your side. Like this is like your passion project. And I think every day, like somebody is expecting that one day where their passion project becomes the main focus. And I think honestly, brother, like the way we even started, I dug into some of your old podcasts just so I could get kind of the format down. I was listening in the truck today. I'm like, man, dude, this is like, you got this down. You got the picks, you got the brought to you by. It's like, dude, if I didn't know you better, I would think that this thing's been on the air for 10 years. So hats off.
I appreciate
to you,
it.
Man. Like this is
I appreciate it.
Making your passion project your purpose project. So that's always there.
Yeah, I like that. And it helps that my kids are into it. And my wife Andrea, she's all about it. Whatever crazy idea I have about anything, like she's like, hey, let's do it. You know, I was doing stand-up comedy for a while. and I told her, I was like, Andrea, if I quit everything and just wanted to be a stand-up comic, would you be okay with it? She goes, I would, as long as you had a plan of here, what are we doing? You know, but she's always behind 100%, which makes doing this, sitting here in my basement at 7:00 at night on a Wednesday, like makes it all good.
And don't use me for your content.
One thing I'm very curious about, because I mean, we have different jobs. Like you're an entrepreneur. What is a day like? Just a normal day for you? Like when do you get up? When do you eat, work, go to work, do all the
morning routine?
Yeah.
So I'm actually working on I've got my app right now. We just did a soft launch.
Yes, and I love to talk about that too. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. So part of it is the routine and the habit forming and everything like that. I did it like for years without even realizing how important it was. Then I started going to some seminars. I'm like, man, like you guys don't like do this shit like every day. Like every day is like I don't know. Like I feel like the Truman Show sometimes. Like I wake up, and if I don't have a 6 a.m. client or even earlier than that, I will get it done. Like I love just strap on some shoes, put the headphones on, and I'll just go for a jog. Everybody's gonna be like, well, how much do you run? Is it for weight loss? My running, my morning like little sweat has nothing to do with weight loss or aesthetics or anything like that. It is simply for this. So the biggest thing for me is getting that training in the morning. Again, if I can, before I've got early clients as well, to get my dose. Dose stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, right? It doesn't matter if you do 10 minutes of burpees or something like that. What it does for me and my ADD and everything like that is it equalizes my hormones in my mind. It makes everything level. I'm much more patient. I'm much more practical. I'm much more I'm able to deal with people better. I don't find myself now. If I miss it, let me just give you the caveat. I think it's easier if I tell you what happens. Like if I miss that for myself, I'm kind of quick with responses. I kind of dismiss people a little quicker. So for me, about getting that first dose, it can be 10, 20 minutes in the morning for your mind is a game changer. And don't take my word for it. There's a book called Spark. It was the first study done on the brain and that's where I got it all from. That proves CEOs, students, kids, adults, no matter what you're doing, you will be better balanced up here. You'll make better decisions, be more productive, be more attentive, and everything, all your performance metrics will go up as far as productivity in school or at work by doing that. And it was like, that was studied and proven everything. So morning routine, get up, get a little sweat for yourself. All right. From there, I get right to work. I'm like, boom, out the door. Might have a little coffee, maybe depending on if I was up late, but I don't even eat now till like noon. And I used to be like, a breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I literally was just so busy. I was forgetting to eat. And I wasn't hungry. And I'll tell you what, Lorenzo, I didn't lose any muscle. All right. I didn't have crazy hunger pains. I did lose more fat and I did feel better. And on a molecular level, there's studies saying it's called intermittent fasting. I did it by accident. Again, I guess I was doing it. So I wouldn't eat from, say, I ate dinner at 9 p.m. I wouldn't eat again until noon. That's like, do the math, like 16 hours, between 12 and 16, depending on the last meal. And on a cellular level, the telomeres, I'm getting really nerdy, are lengthened. Like you age slower. Your body slows its aging process down when you do that intermittent fasting. So not a pitch deck, whatever suits you guys. But for me, it worked and lost more fat, had more energy, wasn't hungry, didn't lose any muscle that everybody thinks, oh, you're going to lose your gains. Didn't even happen. In fact, it felt better, looked better. It was good. So wake up, get that dose, out the door, go to work, start serving other people. And that's it, man. I'll brush your teeth, do all that shit. Yeah.
For sure.
Look at that stuff.
You know,
dentist is listening. I'm like, hold on.
you know,
as a dentist, just comes on as we're talking about that. That is crazy, JJ. How'd you just tune in? Well, I thought I forgot to brush my teeth in my morning routine. Oh, he's gonna kill me.
I do understand, especially there was like most people. There's times where like, oh, I'm going to start working out, and then I'm going to eat better, and then I'm not, and then I do, up and down. And I've been like that for a while, and there was a few years ago where I would get up. I get up at 4:30, go for a walk or do some exercise. I like kettlebells, so sometimes do some kettlebell stuff. And intermittent fasting, same thing. And I did feel better. Like, part of it too was like, hey, I worked out. I'm not going to stop on my way into work to grab a donut or something. Like, what's the point of that? I just did it, right? But for me, like, I can't. And I don't want to say I can't. I don't know. It just doesn't stick all the time.
Okay.
I think it sticks for me when someone else is doing it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So
you gotta have a battle buddy, brother.
Yeah. And actually, one big thing now, my son, he's 10. He just asked me, like, "Hey, Dad, do you think we can work out and do stuff?"
Cool. Yeah.
So we just started this week, and just little, like, I gave him a little, like a little 3-pound dumbbell just to show him how to do triceps, how to do biceps. We did body weight squats today. We did lunges, like all this stuff, just to show him movements and how he feels afterward. But I do like it because today was our second day. He's like, "You ready, Dad?" Like right when you got home, I'm like, "Yeah, let's go, man. Let's do it."
Love that.
But that's another thing that kind of like he's the one who wanted.
Yeah. So check it out, man. I'm not perfect by any means. Like, I might say, this is my morning routine. Dude, I've got days where I might miss it. And I told you, like, I'm fucked up. I'm messed up. Like, I don't feel like I'm always getting the itch. I'm like, I feel like I kind of beat myself up because if I miss that morning routine, then I realize how I feel. Then I realize I'm not being as productive or as passionate to the people I need to be. And I self-correct. So this isn't like a linear thing. You're going to get off track sometimes. Just make sure you get back on track. And having people to help you hold yourself accountable. Like, I have a myriad of people I've met throughout my life that I'll get a random text one day. Like I got a couple months ago, like my 2021 craziest thing I did was I swam 3.5 miles with some SEALs up in New York. And if my swimming experience before that is treading water. And I literally was like, you know what? These text messages were coming in for like 3 months. These guys were like, let's get you in the water, Andy. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Finally, with like 3 or 4 weeks to go, I'm like, F it, going. So I like got out there, I tried to swim, and this girl's teaching me how to swim. And she goes, you realize the Hudson River has so much less salt than the Florida area we're in? She goes, you know how we're waiting here in the water? You're going to sink up there. I'm like, great. This is awesome. So I've got, well, I'll fill you on the rest of that story later, but I made it. Obviously, I'm still here. Didn't die. But I've got friends like that are just, you know what? I'm a yes man. They say, hey, let's do this 5K. Hey, let's do this swim. Hey, you won't do this. Do it. Or for the daily stuff, just having somebody else that you're going to train with. Like, bring your friends around, some friends that you haven't seen for a while. Maybe that's how you can stay in touch with each other and get connected, is say, hey, let's just have a buddy pump, a buddy workout time. And you guys get together, and then you stay in touch and you can maintain that relationship through a workout. There's many different ways to do it. And I'm learning how much more valuable that is, because I used to be so selfish with that time. Now I don't mind sharing it. Now it's like, I'm not in there all just thinking about, it's all about Andy. I'd rather, now that I've gotten to a point where it's like, whatever, I just want to share that time. I want to have fun. And that's what my program is. It's like, whatever I feel like doing that day. That's it.
Well, that's one thing I noticed too, is I like a kid likes doing different things. So why should an adult who wants to work out or do whatever only run or only lift weights or only
do it all?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah,
I never thought I'd be running a marathon. I never thought I'd do anything. I was like, bodybuilding to me is so freaking boring now. Like, I make fun of people. I go, you go to the gym and you sit down. It's like a gym is full of furniture. It's got seats and back pads. Like, number one, that just takes your core and your hips out of it. And that's why you have back problems, because you go to the gym and sit down. But it's so like, I just have to keep moving. Like, I'll go from bam to bam to bam. The days of like 4 dudes hauling around a bench press, watching each other. Oh yeah. Oh, that was so cool in high school. Now it's like, dude, I get so bored with that shit. I just do whatever is interesting. I'm so spoiled with my tonal that I hit a button and it goes up to all the weight that I don't even like putting weights on anymore. Like I'll just look around the gym, see who else has already loaded the weights. I'm like, hey, just leave that. Oh, we get a few reps in. And I'm like, does anybody else want this? Okay, you take it. Like, so it's like, but be multifaceted. If I can tell anybody anything, don't feel like you're just this one trick pony that you're just going to be like the same way. The coolest thing to do is step outside your comfort zone. I'm talking about a guy here, Mr. Musclehead, that used to go, a girl invited me to a spin class, a spin studio. I go, you know what, fine. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to show those mamas what's up. Like we got in there and dude, I was dying, but it was like, you know what? Getting in there, I met so many people that day and we had such a blast. Like I'll never forget that. The whole place is like, oh, let's see what happens to this guy. Doesn't look like he's ever done any cardio, but it was great. So always, I like to say yes. You know, what's it going to hurt? Are you going to embarrass yourself? Who cares? Who cares? Do so willingly. Do so with an open mind. Go try everything. Run, jump, swim. Sign up for that 5K. Do that show. Do these Decafit and High Rocks challenges that are out now. This is all fun. And it's all going to make you a more well-rounded person, well-rounded athlete, and you're going to be able to do more stuff. You don't know what your kids' passions are. Might as well just be good. Then they're going to think you're a superhero. Oh, daddy can throw the ball with me. He can tackle too. He can box. Oh my God, he can crank out push-ups. You're going to be a superhero to your kids. The more stuff that you can do.
If you could have one, if there was one thing that you think is your favorite way to work out, break a sweat, what is that one thing you like to do?
I think it is, man, there's so many different things. I'm going to really think about this one for a sec. I guess my favorite thing to do is just go in there and push myself. Now I've got a structure each day and you'll see this on the app too. Like I've got body parts I hit or things like that. But my favorite thing to do is to seriously challenge myself. I think my favorite workouts are the challenges. Like not even training. Training's just training. Is showing up for that marathon with no training, showing up for that swim with barely any experience. Just getting out of my comfort zone is just, I know that I'm going to come out the other side of that just better, different. I'm going to learn something. If I F it up, great. I'm going to learn how not to next time. Yeah. So I think that's my favorite thing to train for is that next thing, whatever that may be, or it's a repeat. Yeah. But in terms of that, just, I think to give people a better answer, not sitting down, staying moving. Yeah. Do all your body, do bodybuilding, do your muscle building workouts, but do them all standing up. Never sit down for a second. Maybe just bench press.
Yeah, I can say there's only one.
There's one. We'll give you the bench. I think just train standing up, and that's for people like you'll get the most core stimulation. Core is everything, front and back. Okay, you're gonna burn more calories. Just don't sit down when you go to the gym, unless it's on an ass kicker, like a rower, an air bike, something like that. There's no doubt you're kicking your ass. There's no doubt that you're not just sitting there taking a breather. Those things are ass kickers, and just keep moving. Just keep moving. Good. If you need some guidance, I'm here.
So let's go back to you swimming. How many times did you think I'm gonna die? Okay. and was this like a race, or was this just like, hey, we're going swimming?
So this wasn't necessarily a race, although there was some competitive guys there. You're talking about Alphas, the SEALs, right? So we get there the day before. I've got some friends up in New York. We go out to a club. I mean, it was endless. It didn't stop till 9 a.m. So then I just kind of laid down. I'm like, I'm already knowing like you are not a swimmer, dude. And now you're tired, you're dehydrated, and you're still gonna this. I go, dude, you know what? Just show up. So sun's out, show up, get there, and they're doing a whole feature on the news, like Fox News there, everything like that. So we show up at noon for the photo op, the speech. We have to run a mile with the American flag. Super cool. Standing around the sun. It's like over 90 degrees out in this park. Sun is clear day, is beating on us. I'm sweating vodka. And we have to wait for the skydivers to come down from the planes. And we wait for that. So we're outside for 4 hours. I've got no water left in me, right? Finally, at 4 o'clock, we jump in the water. And I'm like, oh, it was the best feeling ever. It's just getting in that cold water. It was like 60 degrees or something then. And I'm going, man. I'm like doing everything they taught me to do. Swim like this, reach. I get to the Statue of Liberty. And by the way, every mile there's a barge. You put your mask in, you climb up the barge, you do 100 push-ups and 22 pull-ups. There's 2 barges, and then you do the next one at the Freedom Tower. And so I'm rounding the Statue of Liberty, right? Like this. And all of a sudden, like total body cramp. I'm talking from my fingernails to my toes. I go from this to, oh shit. Like I'm doggy paddling. I'm now dead last. They're opening up the waterways behind me because they have to let the boat traffic through. They shut down the waterway first. So I got the Port Authority, the fire department, the NYPD boats going, just like they're coming up. Hey, you're gonna make it? Oh, yep, doing just fine, just dandy. So I get to the first barge, and half the guys have already jumped off and gone to the second one. I get up there, and I don't know anybody. All the guys that I know, the high performers, they're already on the second. They're already on their way. Yeah. I get up there, and I'm like, man. I stretch out, and there's like some medics, and like, what's wrong? I go, cramp. They're like, where? I go, everywhere. They're like, figure it out. I go, I know. So I'm like, dude, just get back in the water. Just get back in the water. So I get back in the water. I start to swim. As long as I don't overextend, like if I give like 75, 80% effort, I'm good. 100% instant cramp, like instant, like you're like, you have to like pry yourself open. So I get to the second barge, and the guy looks over and he goes, you guys aren't going to believe it. It's Andy. I go, did you guys like place bets on me? Like, dude, we didn't see you at the first barge. We thought like that dude quit. He's a quitter.
Oh, really?
I get up there, and my buddy, Mike Donnelly, who's down here in Miami, looks at me dead in the eye. He goes, had you quit? We're done. Never your friend again. Never hanging out. I go, yep. I would do the same to me too. So
he told you after the fact.
Oh, he told me that. Then we get to the last mile and a half is you can see Manhattan. It's right there. It's getting closer. And we get there. We run our mile to the Freedom Tower. We do our push-ups, pull-ups, and the rest is history. We went out from there. But it was honestly, I'd never done anything like that. And there were parts of me where I was like going underwater. Like, yeah, man, if you stop kicking, you're going to drown. And you're going to be on the news. All your buddies are going to make fun of you. And you're never going to live this down. And you're just basically a little bitch. I'm like, all this is going through my head as I'm just like, just keep going. Just keep going.
Whatever gets you there, right?
Yeah. So guys, if like all the self-doubt and all the stuff, it's all part of the process. Running marathons, doing these go rucks, it's all in your head. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Can I? And I don't know how much time you have. I don't want to take all your.
Usually keep going, brother.
Okay. So on a much, much smaller scale, like I'm never gonna die. This was probably 6 or 7 years ago now, maybe 5 years ago. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'2", probably 270. At the time, wasn't running or doing anything, and I went to Louisville to visit my sister, and my baby sister was supposed to go, and they had signed up for a 5K, but she didn't make it. So it's like, hey, if you want to go do the 5K, you can do the 5K. I'm like, all right, I'll walk. You know it's not going to hurt. At least I'll be out there moving around. Yeah. And I was at that starting line, heard the national anthem. And I'm super competitive at that kind of stuff. And I ran the entire thing.
Yes.
I hurt so bad the next day.
Dude, that is such a motivator, dude. You have no idea. Like you'll get there, and sometimes you have no idea. And like all of a sudden you'll hear that anthem. It's just like, let's go.
Dude, I mean, I had fun. It wasn't my fastest ever, but I had fun. I was Snapchatting people, Snapchatting and everything during the race. But I think it was a half hour, 10-minute mile, which wasn't bad.
It's fine.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun. Like I said, afterward, the next day was horrible. But dude, as soon as I was up there, I'm like, I'm running, I guess.
And there's something there for those people, all right? You never know the motive. Like, right up to some of these events, I'm not motivated. I'm looking for maybe if I just step off this curb and be like, oh, I got it, man down, I got an ankle, it's dead. Like we're all doing. And then you get there, you get to the event, you see the people, the environment is motivating, like it always happens. Yeah. Okay? And don't feel like you've got to beat anybody. None of these races, nobody cares if you win. Nobody cares. Everybody cares that you finish. Everybody's there to support you. Nobody's your enemy unless you got like some side bets. Then you're on your own. But
unless you're gonna lose a friend, apparently.
Yeah, there you go. Unless I'm like, I don't want to lose my money. I'm a merman pop. So yeah, do these events, guys. Don't think you have to impress anybody except yourself. Like sign up for a 5K, and just finish it. Just do it. and be a better version of yourself than you were the day before. That's it. You don't have to beat people. You have to beat yourself and level yourself up. That's it.
I can tell messages, especially to the kids, the high school kids that I coach football. And then sometimes I'm like, why didn't I listen to myself? Sometimes like I have these good messages that tell the kids like, hey, you failed. That's okay, man. You got the next play. Like, hey, I did something bad at work. I can come back the next day. I'm all right.
I'm going to use this podcast as a reference. When I'm bitching out on something, I swear I'll be like, you said to others, and now you can't do it yourself. Like, you're a hypocrite. You get out there and you do that shit. We all need it, man. It's like brushing motivation's daily. It comes and it goes. It stays in here for like 30 seconds and it's out, right? You need to keep feeding this mind positivity all day long. That's your circle. Keep your circle tight.
So you've done a lot of stuff. You're just talking about the SEAL, that SEAL swim. What's some other like? I know I always think of David Goggins. I like listening to him.
Oh, Joe Goggins! Rogan. Somebody actually came through and said Goggins. Stay hard on on the IG thing. Like, so without further ado, the best thing I think anybody here can do, and I did it. I went into it blindly, and that's why I tell you to do it too. Is a Go Ruck Tough challenge. So it's derived from the military. It's derived from special forces training. You have to show up with a rucksack, a backpack, make sure it's a tactical one, or they will purposely beat the shit out of it so that you're the guy with the messed up backpack. So get a good one that can put up with some stuff, because if you just bring your JanSport, they're just going to be like, ha ha, and look at all your stuff on the ground. So there's a 12-hour, it's 12 hours, right? You do it, you start it at 8 o'clock at night, right? You miss a sleep cycle, you finish at 8 in the morning, and it will change your life about what you can do, what you can do for other people. You are going to be a better person, a better leader, a better follower, a better husband, better mother, better wife, whatever. I'm missing all the attributes there. You're going to be better in all areas of your life by doing it. Why? Because you don't know what you can do until somebody pushes you. And these people are professional pushers, and you're going to get there, and they're going to minimize your strengths and maximize your weaknesses and make you figure some stuff out. And I've done 6 of them, and one of them was a 24-hour, and one of them was 3 days. And I'm like, here we go, like leading up to it. I'm like, man, here we go again. I'm doing this. And then once you get there and they start calling out orders, you just go. And at the end of it, you've never felt like you could just take on the entire world.
What is involved in that? Like, what are you doing? Is there just a bunch of different things?
So it's for the first couple hour, I'd say like first hour or two, they're keeping their eyes on to see who's a standout, who's not, who's a little shy, who's the big strong guy. And you know what they do to the big strong guys? There's litters, stretchers, and they go, okay, we're in a battle zone, we're at choke point. Boom, boom, boom. The 3 biggest dudes just got shot, and now we're in the stretcher, and all the I call them little people, have to carry us. So they took your 3 strongest assets and made them a weakness, and now everybody else is to carry. So they are going to mind F you the whole time. Like, wait, we have this big strong guy. Not anymore. He's dead, or he's got shot in the leg, or some stuff like that. And you're going to do movements. Like we did one in Fort Lauderdale, which is every time you see a beach cruiser, that's an IED. If you see it first and call it out, you survive. Okay, you build some credits with the cadre. If they see it first and you don't, everybody's doing PT, like burpees, bear crawls in the sand, carrying logs, everything. So you've got you're suffering. You're working out. You're sweating. There's stress. They're imposing stress on you mentally, sounds, verbal cues, and they're making you accomplish a mission. So you can't just internalize your shit and put headphones on. No, not allowed. You have to make sure your team is right. Make sure you're not missing anybody. You've got to be a good follower. Make sure you're paying attention. Be a good leader. Make sure everything's copacetic. So it is nonstop for 12 hours. Like you are going, man. I recommend doing it in Florida because it's always nice weather here. Like I said, I suck in the cold, so get down. But do yourself a favor and go through that experience, because I'm telling you, it's hard to tell you what you're going to get out of it because everybody's different. Everybody experiences something different when you come out of those Go Rucks. So it's called Go Ruck. Go on Instagram, check it out. It's all special forces, special operations guys, I should say. And a lot of the proceeds go to a lot of their different veteran charities. So it's good, positive all around. And to tell you what, Eddie, you talk to any of the spec ops guys, and they don't just come in as badass. You break to build. So you have to break down the structures in your mind that are limiting you, self-limiting beliefs, your body, everything, in order to find out if you can be that person that they want you to be or that you need to be. So don't think of this stuff as, oh, me, I'm the victim. No, this is a rite of passage. You have to be broken to be built. And that is it. Just go in there with that open mind and do it with some friends, because you guys you'll have some camaraderie there. I don't recommend going in not knowing anybody. That's just weird. I've always done with friends.
Was there a time where you're like, ooh, that guy's by himself? What's up with that?
Yeah, then you go over and you rescue him. You're like, hey man, like you make friends. But yeah. I've always done it with guys, because then it's like the drive home. It's like it's also like you're talking about, you're like you're all muddy, you're discussing it's just so many different beliefs. And honestly, they've got some 48-hour ones, and I've gone and we've flown to New York to do like a 9/11 tribute, and we did 24 hours. And I didn't realize you can tack, like if you complete the 24, you can do a 12 and a 6 for free. So some of these people knew that, and these girls like packed like extra gear. So like, hey, guys, ready for the next one? We're like, no, we're getting beers. I got one change of underwear, and that's it. They're like, she's those hot pussies. And I'm like, what? Did we just get called out? We just did 24 hours. She goes, yeah, we're doing 48. I go, oh my God, there's levels to this shit. It's crazy. So you never know who you're going to meet. Jairina, that was you. Shout out if you ever listen to this. I just saw you on Facebook the other day. That girl literally called us little bitches and wanted nothing to do with us. Like, she goes, I'm not associating myself with those men. But I never felt like less than a man in my life. I went from, she just dropped us like a bad habit.
I mean, you were so pumped to finish this 24-hour, and then you just went down.
And then, yeah, I'm peaking. I'm like, yeah, I made it. And they're like, that's not enough. That's not enough for you. What do you want from me?
Oh my gosh. I do want to talk about your app, because I have been talking to you about it, and you know, I signed up for it, and you had that Instagram live about it yesterday. But I talk about it because I'm obviously interested to know more, but I think other people are interested in it.
Guys, gotcha. So here's the reason for the app and why I believe everybody can benefit from it and everything. So I can only impact the people I can touch here in Florida and train and be in proximity to. And I've avoided doing an app thing. I just wasn't sure, like, you know, that's another investment, another time consuming thing. I wasn't even sure if I wanted, like, so we're talking about self-doubt. Like, you're not always 100% sure this is what you want to do. Maybe even stay in the same field. So I go through the same process of weighing out the options. Finally, it's like, I was trying to find a way out of fitness, believe it or not. And after a while, life and all my experiences kept leading me right back in. So I go, you know what? Let's find a way deeper in. So I was like, how can I have this experience? How can I hold people accountable from a distance? I got with this company. We built this platform. And when I say it is flawless, it's everything I've ever wanted. If I was going to hire a trainer or somebody to hold me accountable, it's got everything there. From your habit forming, to your reminders, to your accountability, to your programming, to your check-ins, to your weigh-ins, to your progress photos, to making it a part of your schedule, to weekly calls, to monthly calls, to daily calls if you tier yourself up to that. It is everything you need to succeed. And it's for every type of body, every type of injury. It can be custom molded. The answer is yes. If you think you can find something better, I'd love to hear it so I can make mine better, but I don't think there is. I think this is going to help change so many people's lives and impact so many people and create a huge community. I want to eventually have a private Facebook page or whatever platforms out there of this community on the app, because we have different coaching apps, but I want to have 1 million people that have been impacted by this training. And guys, the type of training I do, I think to myself that it's common sense. And yet I still see people out there not losing weight. They're doing endless amounts of cardio, endless amounts of ab work. I'm like, guys, it is, if you're not doing a muscle-centric program, muscle is your secret to anti-aging, to high metabolism, to eating whatever you want, to having a strong body, to resisting injuries, fatigue, to being durable as a human body or a human being in your body. The answer is muscle, and everybody's avoiding muscle. What do you have? Cardio classes. Okay. What do you have? CrossFit, powerlifting. Okay. You have got all these other things. They're not the worst things in the world. These people are doing something, but aesthetically, if you're not looking at yourself and saying, I want this body, I want to be able to do all this stuff, you're not ever going to get there by doing these little niche things. You need to have a program that has resistance training in place first, and then you can tack on all these other little nitpicky things, I'd say. So the app is going to be the one-stop shop, if you will, for lack of a better word, to get the body you want, to perform at the level that you want, to have the freedom to eat whatever you want eventually once you get there, and to do some of these things we've talked about here and be able to be mobile enough and metabolic enough to handle that kind of stuff. And it's literally, I like to call it a superhero package. Like, be James Bond. What does James Bond do in every single movie? He runs, jumps, swims, flies, skis, like he does everything. He's like, I want you guys to be able to do everything. I want you to be a hybrid athlete. Like you said, what do you, I go, you said before, like what type of training I do? I go, all of it.
Yeah.
Give me something to do.
Yeah.
Not the shake weight. We're going to leave that out. We won't do that. But again, that's the app, guys. We'll make it available. I'll send you in maybe the show notes that you do. I'll send you a link. I'm confident by Friday this week, I'm going to be able to set it free and deal with any little feedbacks I need to fix anything there. But we did a soft launch last week, and the feedback has been phenomenal from some pretty heavy hitters in the tech world. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, it looks cool just by I'm looking at it right now, and like all the stuff that you're able to do on here, with just nutrition, like you said, putting photos on there, finding your workouts. Like, it looks pretty user friendly also. And I think that's important too, because if people are struggling with the app, then they're going to hell with it.
Yeah. And nerd alert, nerdy podcast, it's going to be able to sync with all your wearables. So we're working on Whoop right now. It'll sync with the Fitbit, the iWatch, MyFitnessPal, everything like that. You can actually, like, we're going to do a tutorial on this as we get closer and as we progress forward, that you can go say, hey Siri, what's my workout for today? And it'll pop up the app and show your workout. Hey Siri, what's my next meal? And things like that. And we're gonna have these voice commands. So everything's gonna be phone in the pocket soon, wearables. So we're just trying to keep up with that kind of trend.
Well, yeah, and please send the link, or at least I'll definitely put your
I appreciate you, man. That's awesome, and thank you for being an
website in there too. Oh yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those, having someone, especially someone I know, to help me, and help my kids and my wife and everything.
I love it, man. You're gonna be super pops. Super pops. No dad bod, Zoe. No dad bod.
You know what? I don't know. At my lowest, since I've been like 20, I've been about 260, 270. My lowest at one point was 250. But that was just more diet stuff. And my dad said, your head looks really big right now. I was like, well, Dad,
he's like, what's going on with you?
Yeah. So I don't know what a good weight is for me. I guess that's something that I can add muscle pretty easily when I start lifting weights.
Don't worry about the number.
Oh no, I understand.
About the number.
I understand.
Here's what you got to worry about, and I'm going to leave everybody with this one. Eat a fucking salad. Okay? If you have abs and you look in the mirror and you've got the body you want, you're completely happy. Eat whatever you want. Don't care. Don't even listen to me. Ignore Andy. That's fine. If you have weight to lose and you're not eating a fucking salad for every single meal, you're not doing enough. And by salad, I just mean protein and vegetables. That could be chicken and broccoli. It could be egg whites and spinach. It's basically the lean shit and the green shit goes on a plate and you eat it. Okay.
Do you put, I know you talked about hot sauce yesterday.
Hot sauce.
Do you put, or can you put things on it, or is it just?
Of course. Oh yeah, you're gonna get bored. So just don't ask me, well, can I have carbs? Can I have sugar? Fuck no. You've already got a tank of gas. Okay, what is carbs and fats? It's fuel. So you're trying to do all this stuff to burn off all this gas, and you just keep putting more gas in. Like, stop it. It doesn't work like that. You just keep adding fuel to the fire. That's it. So spice up your life as much as you want. I've made this so simple. I've given people like encyclopedia-sized meal plans. They just like, I mean, overwhelmed. I got down to an Instagram post. It's eat a fucking salad, eat your protein, eat your vegetables, and then you'll watch your fat melt away. And then like, well, when do I eat whatever I want to get? I said, when you look in the mirror and you're happy, eat whatever you want. Until then, eat a fucking salad.
Yeah. Well, perfect.
And I'll give you the science behind that. It's like, it's not a blanket statement. It's not me being like a machismo. It actually fucking works. Sorry for the language. I know there's kids, but nothing drives the point home like an F-bomb.
That's all right. That's all right. I usually put a little asterisk in the show notes saying, hey, just so you know, curse words were said. So we're
get your little beep, boop, beep, boop.
No, I don't do that just because I feel like like you're right. Like this is how people talk. I'm not going to shelter people or whatever. This is how people talk.
I don't trust people that don't fly off an F-bomb here and there. It drives the point home. It's like, hey, Lorenzo, I care about you. No, Lorenzo, I fucking care about you. Like, it's an adjective. It's an adjective, people. Okay, it should be taught in grammar school.
All right, man. Well, I can't thank you enough. This is so cool. I don't think we've ever just sat down and talked for an hour. So it's cool to do that with you, man. You're so positive and so energetic, and I look forward to working with you, through this app and through messaging and that kind of stuff. So I appreciate it. Check out the show notes, for any of Andy's stuff. They'll be in there. Give us a click on those links, guys. So thanks, Andy.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys get my profile. I'll send you everything else you need to know. Is this video gonna be available?
So it's usually audio, but this video was so good. If it's available,
start that YouTube page right now, brother. That's it. I'll be right out of the gates.
So the audio will be available Thursday morning, tomorrow morning. So if I can get the video, I got to give it to my brother-in-law who does video work. So hopefully it'll like be really professional looking, logo, all that kind of stuff by the weekend. So cool. It'll be up there eventually. But I made up my mind as soon as you started talking. I'm like, no, this has to be my first video.
Dude, I'll tell you what, it has to be, man. I'll tell you what, Joe Rogan's right. Like, I listen, but when I'm at home, I stream it to the TV, like watching people and everything like that. Just like it's awesome. So I just want to say it's been great to see your beautiful mug here today. So we're 2,000 miles away and just connected right here. So people got to see it. They got to believe it.
Yeah. All right, Andy. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. It means the world to me if we can get this podcast off the ground and running. You don't have to share all the episodes. Just share one you like. One podcast, if you share one, could turn into a subscriber down the road. So any little bit helps. My Gmail is thenerdballpodcast@gmail.com. I'm on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Find me at Twitter at The Nerdball Pod. Instagram is The Nerdball Podcast, and Facebook is a page at The Nerdball Podcast. Thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Cuttlefish Graphics, Perrysburg Junior High STEM, and Big Daddy Graphics for helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.